Hey guys, it's Sav here. I'm a bookseller at Changing Hands Bookstore. If you're like us here in AZ, you want to get out of the heat and into the air conditioning, and we have your back with a summer reading challenge. You can read a book that fulfills the theme of a square and actually fulfill 4 in a row, either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, and you get a bingo. What happens when you get a bingo is you can come into the store, drop off your bingo card with your information, and you'll be entered into a raffle to be one of 2 winners of a $50 Changing Hands gift card. And if you know anything about our store, you know that $50 can get you quite a bit of books or gifts or other cool goodies we have here. So you definitely want to check out this challenge. So today I'm going to be talking about these 4 squares here. Maybe if you feel like there's not enough time left in the summer and you don't know what to read, you don't know how to get a bingo, you can follow my lead here. I have some suggestions to get you a bingo right here. So let's get started. This first square is listen to an audiobook from Libro FM. This one was a pretty easy cross off for me, especially considering Libro FM makes it pretty easy to listen to audiobooks and support your favorite local bookstore. That's what makes it such an awesome alternative to Audible. So for my audiobook to complete this square, I listened to a book actually from my June TBR video, which was Hola Papi by John Paul Bramer. Any audiobook fan will tell you that the best part about an audiobook, other than a good book, which this is the narration. So sometimes a really good book can not sound very good if it's not narrated by somebody that's talented. This is a really great read or listen because John Paul actually reads it to you. So his advice column termed memoir really comes to life with his humor and his wit, and it's so heartwarming. I laughed, I cried, I felt all of the emotions. I highly recommend not just to read this, but also to listen to it on Libro FM. This next book is for fans of visual artwork and environmental activism, or for any lover of Arizona and all of its cultural and physical beauty. We have Oak Flat by Lauren Redniss. Lauren Redniss is a MacArthur Genius and a National Book Award finalist whose visual artwork and journalistic touch brings to life the story of Oak Flat. Oak Flat is in high elevation mesa near Superior, Arizona, or the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation. Oak Flat is a sacred burial ground and religious site for the San Carlos tribe. Unfortunately, in the 90s, they discovered that there was a huge untapped copper reserve. Suddenly, the San Carlos Apache tribe had not just 2 huge coal mining conglomerates, but also the American government on their land ready to profit. Redniss weaves together the narratives of 2 families, the Nosies, an Apache family whose teenage daughter is an activist and leader in the Oak Flat fight, and the Gorhams, a mining family whose patriarch was a sheriff in the lawless early days of Arizona statehood. I have to tell you guys, I found this book absolutely stunning. The best part is that she has transcripts from the indigenous community as they tell their stories, so it's literally their voices coming to life. This is a must-read for anybody who loves Arizona's natural beauty and history. And it's really important to read it because corporate profiteers are still trying to steal the land from the San Carlos Apaches today. The fight is not over, and this is the best book that you can get to familiarize yourself with everything that's happening in that region. All right, the next square on our bingo line is to read a book that is a #own voices book about a disability. For my pick for this square, we have Disability Visibility, which is the first-person stories from the 21st century, edited and curated by Alice Wong. Folks, let me tell you a little bit about Alice Wong and why she's awesome. Alice Wong is a disabled activist, media maker, and consultant, and she is the founder of the Disability Visibility Project. The Disability Visibility Project, other than championing disabled people's voices and stories and their histories, they also do so much for the disabled community. So this is a collection of essays, all written by different folks, all of which are disabled, and all about their lives, their experiences, and all sorts of things. A curation of disabled voices is so important because, as the back of the book says, 1 in 5 people in the United States lives with a disability, visible or otherwise. And so having a fresh collection of different perspectives and experiences helps us to raise awareness and representation and to fight against ableism in our country. Our 4th and final square that would complete our hypothetical bingo is a genre novel by a Native American, Indigenous, or First Nation author. allow me to introduce you to the holy city of Tova, where the earth and the sky will converge under a black sun. For this book, we've got Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. It is one of my favorite fantasy reads of late. So, this fantasy story is inspired by pre-Columbian indigenous groups, and the author, Rebecca Roanhorse, talked at length about why she wanted to write a fantasy story that was written about literally any other culture than any sort of European fantasy setting, and she really delivers here. This is the kind of world-building prowess that Rebecca Roanhorse is known for, but she just blows it, knocks it out of the water here. Even with all of these complex sort of topics, the writer in her own words says, "It's true that I wrote a fantasy book that talks about class politics, religious corruption, generational trauma, the cost of vengeance, and the narrow road to redemption. But I also wrote a story about a boy who plays with shadow and talks to crows going on the road trip of a lifetime with a party girl." All right, folks, this is how I would get my bingo for the summer reading challenge. But there's so many other options, so many other squares on here that you can fill out. Some really good ones. We've got a romance by a trans or non-binary author, a book by a Palestinian author, a nonfiction book on anti-racism, a book about a female athlete. There is so many things on here that you could fulfill. If you're a fan of Changing Hands, if you've come in here, we've definitely recommended you plenty of books. If you haven't had a chance to come and talk to us in the store or hear our recommendations, we have a whole list of suggestions online that you can actually go to. If you follow the link in the description, we'll take you to where our bingo card is and a list of suggestions for each square. There's probably like 8 to 10 books suggested for each of those. So if you didn't like my picks today, or if maybe they just didn't catch your attention, you're not into them, follow the link and see if there's something else on there that you like. If you like content like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below what you thought. And I'll see you guys in the next one.